Welcome to the D&D Morning Show.
We're back at it.
I didn't say it that time because last time I said it and you're like, you stole my
I
line.
thought you were going to steal it again.
I did not steal it
I was
this
trying
time.
to think of something else to say.
I had to give him a little bit of spotlight too.
Oh, thank you. Happy to be here.
My little sidekick.
Oh, is that right? Wow. How the tables have turned. What is that? I was thinking of Phoebe. She's like, I have tasted my medicine, and it is bitter.
She said that? I
Yeah,
don't remember that episode.
you should. What do we have going on today?
All right, so today we'll start off with the fun fact, of course, and then we are going to get into detoxing your pantry as our main topic today. We talk about detoxing our mind, we talk about detoxing our bodies, but with our bathrooms even, but we've never talked about detoxing a pantry, so it's going to be fun.
And that suggestion came from Shauna, so thanks very much, Shauna.
Yes, thanks, Shauna, for bringing that up. A great question. And then we have a recipe and a quote to end off with.
Sounds good to me.
So let's tell them about our fun fact. So recently we were going through our DVDs and just, weeding through ones that we don't really watch as much to donate. But anyway, guess how many copies we found of Wizard of Oz?
3!
3 copies of Wizard of Oz.
And one's not even open.
One's not open.
You know, it's kind of funny. Dorothy, I think this was mine.
Yeah,
This one?
and this one was mine.
I had this one, and then Dorothy had that one, and we're like, we have the same movie. And then I don't even know where this one came
I
from.
don't know where that one came from either. But I think it must have been gifted to us in some way.
Yeah.
Because it's on the package.
So, before we met, these were our favorite movies, if you can imagine.
Yes.
So, I grew up watching this. I watched it every morning before school at a point in time. Did you do the same?
I watched it like way before I even went to school. I started watching it. And so I would I have memories of sitting on our brown couch in the basement, watching on this little TV, and it was VHS. So just watching it over and over and over. And the reason I loved it so much was because the main character's name was Dorothy, and Dorothy was on nothing. Like no famous characters in any shows that we watched at that time were Dorothy, no movies or anything. Even like little bracelets or little necklaces that had names on them, no Dorothy's.
But the Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz.
So, let us know in the comments what your favorite movie is. And maybe you have one that you've watched from childhood. That'd be cool to hear.
Yeah, maybe you have 3 copies of it too.
And then, you know what I always wonder is like when are DVDs going to be thought of as VHSs?
Yeah.
Because it's going to happen sooner or later. And we're like thinking we have all these DVDs. And we're like, should we get rid of them? Should we keep them? Like, no one has a VCR anymore. Kids wouldn't even know what it is. And I think DVD players are going to be the same soon.
Yeah.
So I always wonder, like, when is that going to happen?
Mm-hmm. But there's some like older classics that you just don't want to part with, because you don't know if you'll be able to access them anymore.
Right.
So, like Wizard of Oz.
All right, I'm going to put these over here.
Okay,
And then what do we have going on next?
our pantry. We're going to talk about detoxing our pantry.
Okay.
Go ahead. You
And
start
go.
it off.
Well, for me, I think we always, and I say this often, but I think we have this mindset of lack and taking away. And when we get into diets, for example, or people think about living or moving towards a healthier lifestyle or eating cleaner, they always think like, I can't have that anymore. Or what can I have? I'm never going to be able to have a hamburger. I'm never going to be able to have fast food. So it's that mindset of lack in what we don't have or can't have. So when it comes to the pantry, for example, and we've talked about this in the bathroom, is that I always suggest, or we suggest, adding things. So add something that's cleaner. And for me, it's like a mindset. The more clean things that you have, the more clean things that you want.
Yes.
It's the same thing as working out. Like when you start to work out, you want to work out more because your body feels great and you start to realize that. And I think once we start to add things, instead of taking away, we think about like clearing out our whole pantry, there's nothing in there, instead of being like, let's add one cleaner product, and then you slowly transition away, like, well, I don't want to put that unclean or toxic product next to the clean one. So you kind of slowly transition out, you may use it, for a bit, or you may throw it away. But I think that really makes a big difference.
Yeah, and I think like we've seen on TV, right? A lot of times those shows where they go in and they just take big garbage bags and get rid of everything unhealthy, and then you're left with an empty pantry, and it's super wasteful as well. So I think that the idea of adding and going slow is actually even more sustainable than just going in and wiping everything out in one clean sweep. And then you're feeling, as you go along, each product you add, you have time to educate yourself on the product, how to use the product. Whereas if you just do a clean sweep and buy everything new, it's overwhelming. And then you have things in your pantry, you don't know what it is, you don't know how to use it, and so you slowly revert back to what you know. If we make it slow, sustainable process and start with 1 or 2 things at a time, then it's more comfortable, and we know more about what we're changing or what changes we're making.
Yeah, it's super expensive to throw everything out and refill it back up. And then, like you're saying, it's not sustainable just to get rid of everything. Like, that's not going to take you into long-term success. It's going to be like, throw everything away, and then you're going to start to put some health food products in there that you're not really sure of. You're not sure how to use, you're not sure what to do with. Products you think you're supposed to have in there. And then I think, like you said, you'll just slowly go back to, well, my pantry's empty, let's just grab this. And put it back in. So, and again, I think that mindset of lack, if we could change that into more abundance, and fill our pantry with cleaner types of products, then we'd be much better off.
Yeah, because if we're not sure how to use it or what it is, it's just going to sit there. And if we're not using it, we're not going to find value in it. So then we'll be like, well, let me use that. So then you'll go back to what you know, right?
Is there any staples that you would put in the pantry?
To start?
Yeah.
Like, what would be the first thing to look at in your pantry? I would have to say sugar. Like, white refined sugar would be the first one in the pantry that I would take a look at into transitioning into something healthier. So, there's lots of ways that you can transition from white refined sugar. And I always suggest doing it first by going to a cleaner sugar. For example, something a bit less processed, like a raw sugar. So, and then you can transition there into some liquid sweeteners, natural sweeteners like honey and maple syrup after that. Because this going right from a white refined sugar can be difficult sometimes to go to a liquid sweetener right away. So if you give yourself that transition stage, I find it very helpful.
Yeah. And then I would say, along those lines, just let's go through a couple quick here. I'd go to white flour. That's another one I think that sits in the pantry because that's where a lot of our baking stuff is. So again, transitioning from conventional white flour to better types of flour. And is there another one? One more?
Salt, white salt. I would transition to
pink Himalayan
salt. Yeah. I don't find that one so difficult because
tastes the
same. It's just a different color.
Yeah. So those are top 3 that we would say get rid of right away. And we are working on more details as to have like whole lists for you guys. So that's coming soon. But if you get rid of those 3 or transition, that's a good start to cleaning out your pantry or detoxing your pantry and then moving on to better things. All right, we just wanted to mention the CTP here. It's Complete Truth Protein. That's the product that we developed. We mention this sometimes, and sometimes we don't. But we just wanted to throw it out there in case you haven't got a chance to try it or you're not sure what it is. This is a whole food supplement that we've developed ourselves. It's made with quinoa and hemp seeds. So very clean. It's made with whole food. You can throw it in baking or smoothies. And we have 2 different products, 2 different brands. They're all gluten-free, dairy-free, soy-free, and GMO-free. So if you're interested, you can let us know. But it's a great way to energize your body, energize your day in smoothies. And then our other product here in front of us is better for baking, which goes along very nicely with our recipe that we have coming up.
Yes. Just a quick note about the Complete Truth Protein as well. If you are new to trying it, make sure it's stored in the fridge.
Always a good point.
Yeah.
No preservatives, no additives. It's food supplement. So think of it as any type of food that you would store in the fridge, like vegetables, for example. You wouldn't leave them on the counter because they would go wilty. So you want to keep CTP in the fridge.
Because it's food.
A recipe.
Our recipe of the week is quite a famous one, I would say.
Yeah.
It's one of our first recipes that we've developed with Complete Truth Protein. So it's the Complete Truth Protein
Protein
balls. Complete Truth Protein balls. Protein.
Oh my, that's
Anyway.
Dorothy laughing at herself.
Anyway, the reason why I love these ones so much is because there's no baking involved. You just throw all the ingredients in a bowl, mix it all together, roll them up, and then you're good to go. So it's very quick and easy, and they're nice on the go. You know, you can store them in the fridge or in the freezer. If you are rushing around in the morning for breakfast, grab a piece of fruit, grab a couple protein balls, and off you go. Or same thing for snacks, or after workout, before workout. They're just so easy. So to make them, you just put rolled oats and Complete Truth Protein, natural peanut butter, maple syrup or honey in a bowl, and you just mix it into a big giant ball. And then from there you take a tablespoon, or a little bit smaller than a tablespoon depending on what size you want them, and you roll them into balls, bite-sized pieces.
And that's it.
You can add all kinds of nuts, seeds that you want. We like to put hemp seeds in them, coconut sometimes.
Or were you talking about like rolling them?
Yeah.
Or inside?
You can put them inside, or you could roll them in them.
Yeah.
It's faster if you just put the nuts and seeds in the mixture instead of rolling them. But if you want to make them fancy sometimes for guests or something, you could roll them in the hemp seeds or the coconut as well. Super quick, super easy, and tons of nutrients because they have all of your all your essential nutrients.
Yeah, and they're amazing. People love them. We bring them to events. We've taken them to trade shows. And if you like peanut butter, and most people do,
Yes.
you'll love these.
Yeah, you can actually add a little chocolate chips if you want. Kids love that. The chocolate chips in them, raisins, anything. You just have the base, and then you can really make it your own.
Yeah. All right, so we have a quote.
Yes.
Or that was the recipe. Now we have a quote.
Yes.
Staying with the format.
Oh yeah, you're so structured. There's a plan, guy.
Oh my gosh. All right, what do we got for a quote?
All right. The quote says, "To truly cherish the things that are important to you, you must first discard those that have outlived their purpose." So I thought that went along well with how we were talking earlier about detoxing your pantry, because you have all of these things in your pantry that aren't serving a purpose to your health anymore, so you discard them, right, to cherish the things that are more important.
Very nice.
But that quote can relate to so many different aspects, right?
I was thinking
Of
about
life.
the closet, for example, because so many people have tons of things in their closets, and they're just not, they take up space and they kind of weigh you down, and you can tell that they weigh you down when you get rid of these things and you feel better.
Yes.
And I think it's like when you get rid of something, you want to get rid of something else.
Yes.
Because it just feels great, feels uplifting. So you go, what else can I get rid of?
It's freeing.
Yeah.
Right? Because stuff weighs us down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good quote. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
that. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of the D&D Morning Show.
We'll catch you on the next episode.
See you guys.
Bye.